Hello. How's everyone here today? Can I hear some rabbit response? I'm going to go through again. How's everyone here today? Okay, good. Everyone is awake. Okay. Welcome. And I'm Ida here, and I have Irene, who started off as a friend, and now I report to her. She's my boss.
We are a DAO.
Yeah. So today we would like to have a very informal chat and generally explore the issues on gaming, which in itself attracts a lot of contention because of the nature of gaming. And then you take gaming and you then put social inclusion, and then you put social upliftment, betterment of people. It all doesn't seem to gel very well, especially those who have parents here. I'm sure you all have issues there. So I would like to hear from Irene today as we engage into this open and very honest discussion. But before we do that, Irene, could you just talk a little bit about yourself and what you do, really?
Sure, thanks a lot, Ida. And if some of you guys find yourself a bit lost on what was said just now on gaming and then this and that, it's okay. It means you are normal, so that's a good thing. I'm Irene Umar. I'm CEO and co-founder of WeGG. WeGG essentially is a gaming guild where a bunch of communities get together not only to play games but to see how they can be a better persons and also how they can uplift themselves in the world. And previously, before coming into gaming guilds, I still am a venture capitalist investing in the gaming ecosystem. And when we say gaming ecosystem, I'd like to clarify that it does not always mean casino, because gaming usually people with, especially if you're MBS, right? People always think casino. But games is actually game development, game publishing, marketing, and it also involves live ops, security, which is cybersecurity, and so on and so forth. That's what I invested in the past almost 10 years. Previous to that, I was a banker, a pretty boring international corporate banker, and quit that job and then move on to the investing side. So pretty much quite familiar to the traditional finance, quite familiar with games itself, because I believe games is everyone's birthright. No matter who we are, we all love playing games, and we all should play games, regardless of what the society say. And now we are in blockchain space.
Cool.
Would you like to introduce yourself as well, Miss Ida?
I'm just Ida.
I know you're famous, but you might want to give a few blurbs.
Plain and simple, Ida. So here's the thing, okay? If you think about it, and I'd like the crowd to basically engage with me to think about this as well, okay? My background is in DIFY. We work on tokens. Token is the financial life force of a project, okay? That basically fuels it, that basically raises money that makes or breaks the project, okay? Now I put gaming in there, games, okay? And then we put tokens, the life force of it. I'd like you to actually talk us through and how tokens, which is basically a form of medium of exchange and basically a currency and a life force for project in gaming, and how connect this to it leads to A, social inclusion, B, betterment of people, as in you lift a person, a gamer, from level 0 to level 1, or level 1 to level 2.
That's a very long and complicated questions, but I will take a stab at it. Now, when we talk about games and economy, a lot of us feel that the gaming world is a virtual, non-existent fantasy island, right? So I want to start off by saying that the music industry that we all know, the movie industry that we all know, combine that together is nothing compared to gaming. Gaming takes up more than 50% of those, right? Now, so I want to start with that because that's how big the industry is. 5-10 years ago, when I started investing, people did not realize that. People think that, what the hell are you doing gaming? Waste of time, waste of money. But that's not true, right? Now, in a simplistic manner, how does tokenization economy works? I am sure that some of us do play Candy Crush
I play Star Trek.
Okay, perfect. I'll use something simpler, Candy Crush, like, or something even Tetris game, or any sort of games that you do. There will be a point system at the very top, right? The more levels you do, the more levels you clear, the more candies, the more matches that you make in a puzzle game, the more tokens that you have. In today's world, when we say tokens, all of us are like, ding, 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 this is money. But in the simple world of gaming, it simply means that you are a good gamer, right? Now, all of us wants to accumulate that tokens, even though it did not give us anything as a gamer. But what does it give us? It gives us a higher leaderboard so we can compete at a higher levels. And if it's an esports play, it gets us to that bracket. So think of it like sports. You have amateur play, you have professional play. So that you want to play with the best of the best in games. Now bring it to, so that's economy on tokens. Now is there any trading that's involved even before GameFi? There is. What happened is that some of you who have kids, you might be suddenly wondering, how come your kids suddenly have a new phone? Or suddenly your kids can buy headphones. You don't remember him stealing your money or her stealing your money, right? You don't remember giving them the money. Suddenly this kid can buy these things. Why? Because when they advance in their games, those tokens that they have, they are able to sell it. Pokemon Go, at one point, I saw adults running around in Dubai airport with a stack of phones catching Pokemon. I couldn't help but I went to him and asked him, why? What are you doing? Do you love Pokemon that much? And he looked at me and said, you know, I can sell this account for $30,000 if I catch the rare ones. But the problem is I have to sell my entire accounts. I can't sell one Pikachu or one of those. I can't. I have to sell the entire accounts. That's the problem of Web2 gaming. Does trading happen? It happens. Now, we look into another civilization games, right? There are people who spend millions of dollars. They spend it in-game. Right? But at the same time, there are also people who spend the money to get other people to sit in the games and play for them. In today's world, we call it scholarship system, right? In today's world of Web3, we call it scholarship system. But back then, everything is done over the counter. Why do they want to do that? Because they want to be an emperor of the game. I know it's stupid, but that's how it is, right? There are supply and demand, because when they are at the top, there's a prestige level that they are at the elite level. And this, ladies and gentlemen, is an elite membership of people who love the games, bond together because of the games, and outside of games, they do business together and they make the best of friends. You'll be surprised that beside businesses, there are also marriages that started off by meeting there, right? So, real story. Now that's for me is a world that lives in parallel to, I know you're like, what the hell is going on? But that's what's happening. Now, let's move it forward to Web3 gaming. 2 years ago, when 3 years ago, when Axie Infinity booms, right? It was in the midst of COVID, right? And what happened at that time was, as difficult as it is to understand, there was a need to earn something. So who was the first people who found the games and are able to capitalize on it are the gamers. And a lot of people will say that Axie is a trashy game. No. Axie is a game that certain people like. You can't get everybody to like Ida or me, right? I mean, you can't. So you can't get everybody to like you. That's why you have types, right? So in the same manner, in the games, there are also types. But because at that time there was only Axie Infinity, we had no choice. But those were the first ones who found the games, who liked them. You gotta like the games to create content for it, and it's not easy. There's a lot of statistic and math involved in it. And that was the first wave of adoptions. It takes 2 years to 3 years to create a good games. That time has passed. This year, I'm very excited because there will be a lot more games that's available for people to play. And so blockchain gaming hopefully will no longer be a game that sucks. Because really, it takes time to build a game. If there's any game developers, you would understand what I mean. And it's painful as a process, right? And with that, imagine if what I mentioned about Web2 gamings, it can be solved in blockchain. It can be decentralized. The price points is not like haggling in a wet market or over a chat. The price is depending on the demand and supply. It's easier, right? You grind up or you play up, you get a certain skin. I don't like this, I sell it. I don't get this Pokemon, I just want to sell this one Pokemon. You don't have to surrender your entire account. You own this account in the form of your wallet. That's entire economy.
Okay,
I didn't talk about social impact.
let's take the example that you gave, okay? And let's take it and percolate it what is actually happening.
Simplify
There
the
is
question.
a clear use case, okay? And I'm going to challenge you. I'm going to challenge you in your thinking here, okay? All right. Now, what are the big things about, and the big angst about gaming is this, especially in the Web3 games with Axie Infinity and all that, is that it actually created the people who have, and the people who have not, okay? I call them a class of hunters and a call of another class which I call them the grinders, okay? The grinders are the ones that is the have-nots, but what they do is they have time. They have time to basically grind, put in their energy and play the game to basically pay off, pay people who doesn't play the game, who collects it, okay? This system has been looked into, it succeeded, but then what happened is that it has its limitation because as it goes further, it has shown it did not elevate people in its full sense, okay? But what it does show is that it sort of like created a new form of slavery because the haves basically make the haves not grind for it, okay? So again, I like to bring it back to the topic. What are we doing? How are we doing with the heart of the token to basically the whole idea is using the gaming, which is basically in the heart of a lot of people, and lift someone from nothing into something, someone into something, into everything. You know, basically you just lift them up. Are we talking theories here? Because there are no real use cases that actually proven it. You know, I'd like to challenge that.
Okay, I'll tell you what we have done. So VGG, you might heard of YGGC. So VGG is a rebrand of YGGC. So we've been around for 2 years plus. And I'll tell you a real story of what has happened to the communities. And it's the job of every single one of us, and I'm not going to comment on what other guilds are doing. I can only comment on what we've done, right? So when at the peak of Axie Infinity, you are right that only the people who have the haves will be able to buy the assets. Not only the haves, but also have the knowledge, right, to buy those assets, to know when to enter into those assets. We were fortunate to enter into Axie Infinity, and we have a whole bunch of assets, and we know how to breed them. Now, with this, imagine it like Grab cars, right? I have a whole bunch of cars, I need drivers to come in. If you think of it, that context is less invasive, right? Okay. So then you bring the people who have the time, who do not have some of them might have the money, by the way, but then they did not have the knowledge and they want to come in and try it. Before you buy a car, you test drive, right? So same manner. They all come in to do a scholarship system. What happened at the peak of Axie Infinity was there were many people who were paid a basic salary in Indonesia of 150 Sing to grind, regardless of what's the price of SLP, as a bit of a benchmark. If you play Axie Infinity and you're good at it, in 2 to 3 weeks' time, you'll be able to get approximately $500 to $1,200 US dollars at that time. So put that in mind and think that there are people who just employ someone and I'll pay you 150 regardless and I'll give you 2-3 accounts to play. For me, that's extractive, that's exploitative, right? So asset owners are responsible to see what we do. What we did at that time, easy, right? For me, I just get one person, best players, I give them five accounts. That's why you see a lot of they call that farmers, right? One person handle 5, 10, 6, 9, 10. Now, we hire one person, we give them 70% of the earnings, so it's fair, and we focus on what I call as the crypto virgins because we want to create impacts. Crypto virgins mean people who have never touched crypto at all. Is it a more difficult thing to do? Bloody hell, yes. But I'm clear that I want people who come in and stay at the bull or bear market, non-transactionals, because these are the people whose life we're going to change. And we created a 3-week program for them because when we deal with people who have never had the chance of looking into something new, right? Because nobody teach them, who cares, right? They're the forgotten ones, unfortunately, right? So we created a 3-4 weeks program where the first week we onboard them, we teach them how to create Ronin wallets without telling them like what the hell Ronin is, because it's irrelevant for them. They just know I need this to play the games. Done. Second week, play the games, understand the 3 Axie Infinities. That's the second baby step. And give them a target. You need to get 3,000 SLP. for you in order to cash out, right? The moment they get 2,500, that's when you introduce them how do you exchange the SLP into fiat. It becomes more relevant because you built it up. And then and there's dropout rates. And then in the end of the day, when they cash out, that's when they become the ambassador of crypto, the best one there. And they'll start talking to their friends. And you think the story ends? No. Because, guys, we all take it for granted. We earn $100, we earn $200, we earn $1,000, right? We would take it for granted that we understand, we know how to manage our financials. A lot of these guys, they have never seen this money ever in their life. Suddenly, they've got this. It's like durian fall off, right? What do I do with them? I was surprised. I thought this is something that people know what to do, right? You have money, you save up for the rainy day. Apparently not, right? So for months, we told them, indirectly, we were teaching them financial literacy 101. When you have money, you remember to save up. You don't really go and blanja the whole village. You save up. You have to split it up accordingly. That's when they learn. And I will tell you that until today, these are the people who started off as a scholar or players. Today, names and face and address are there, yeah, because we do KYC checks on them, because I don't want just anyone to come in and grind, and I know what exactly they're doing. They are back in universities. They are homeless people who now have roof above their heads. Using Axie Infinity money or earnings, they now have what we call as a warung. They now have, not car washing, bike washing for the communities. Until today, there are people who, I hope there are no regulators here, accept crypto in exchange of their service. And these are the people in kampung area, in the village area, remote locations. How do we change? These are the people who did not have access to bank system before. And I challenged the banks because I was a banker and I worked hard on financial inclusion. I said, how do you do financial inclusion? Or any of my guys walk in, your security guard will stop them and then throw them with all the jargons. How? And in Indonesia, in Jakarta alone, I can take you to orphanages. They don't have birth certificates. How? Financial inclusion, how? They can't even go to public school, right? So this is how we uplift them. But when we talk about uplift them, there's a lot of work. The question is, and the bull market is here, and this makes me very nervous, are we all willing to do the hard work to do it? Because when we do the hard work, these are the guys who stay. That's the differentiator between VGG and whatever that's happening out there. In the past 1 year during the bear, we've been building and building and building and connecting with people. And the community stays. Why? Because there are baby steps that we guide them out of the poverty. There's no such thing as zero to hero. There are processes that we need to respect. These are humans we're talking about.
That's a very interesting concept.
It happened, not concept. Hello.
Oh, okay. All right. Sorry. Apologies. She's my boss, so I have to say yes to it.
As you can see, our dynamics are more friends.
So we don't have a lot of time here. Okay. So I've just a little bit background. I just joined BGG, and I've never done gaming industry in my life as in blockchain.
Now she plays game.
It opens my eyes to a lot of things. But I have my thoughts, but today it's not about me, okay? And I would like for you to actually basically have this very few moments that you have is what you just said just now, what your vision is, what you hope to achieve, okay? And I would like you to basically share what are the challenges that you faced from government, regulatory, community, society, space, industry, that is basically you're facing to bring you to what you just shared to everyone here, to your vision.
How do you want me to finish that in 40 seconds?
You better speak fast, okay? All right.
Okay, so the visions that I have is very simple, right? It's all about impacts, and that's the reason why I got into this industry, to elevate people's life, because it's the life purpose that I had. And what I envision of VGG is a Web3 nations, where we elevate gamers beyond play, where we remind people again to play. And I experiment on my parents. My parents play games. They are the very people who stopped me from playing games, and they find joy in playing games right now. I'm very happy about that. And my mom actually plays blockchain game without knowing that it's a blockchain games. Now, The visions is to onboard Web3 convert everyone into Web3 with one thing in mind: unity of the world. Regardless of who you are a female, male, you are black, white, gray, whatever colors you are, whatever your background economically is, it does not define who you are, because this is the space where, as long as you are willing to put in the hours, you find what you're good at, you find your niche, there are people who are willing to give you the opportunities even though you're faceless, right? And as the industry grows, KYC, know your customers, as annoying as it is, it's all about, think of it like a social engagement where we know each other. And that's what we're working hard on. And that is why VGG will be launching our soulbound tokens. And a lot of people I know talks about soulbound tokens, right? But I don't want...
Why are you looking at me?
I know you're about to whack me.
Look at them.
So what is it about? It's your passport into Web3. We all need our identity in Web3 space. The technology might not be there yet, but what we are preparing is to get data, your data, in the hands of you yourself, so that you have the ability to say what you want to do with it. But for us to get there, we need to kickstart on something. And that's what we are going to present to our community, every single one of them. We start with Southeast Asia because I'm Southeast Asian, but the dream is global. It's a world without borders. Doesn't matter where we are. And it's an international citizenship. Now, your second question is what?
I think you've answered most of it. I don't know whether we have enough time.
I'll just ask for 10 seconds, right?
Okay.
Of what's the ask from my side? I don't see us exclusively working in Web3. If I work exclusively in Web3, I live in La La Land. I want to work very closely with the government, and we do work closely with the government in a way, and work closely with the corporates. The biggest challenge is a lot of people have misconceptions about the Web3 games. You say no before you even know what it is about. The request for me to all the society, all the public out there is have an open mind. In Jakarta, we call it kenal maka tak sayang. You don't know someone, you can't fall in love with it. If you know a person, there's no way you can hate a person. My request to this new industry is that be open-minded. The incentive, what's in it for me? You miss the internet age. You do not want to miss this age. Be open, you have nothing to lose. The worst case scenarios is you have to control yourself, control your greed, do not invest your own money, watch and learn. But if you want to, you know that you're paying for tuition fees. That's for the society. Government, I can't say much, right? I don't want to say much. Corporates are now a lot more open. So in the same manner, open it up, work with us. We are going to work with universities. So if any one of you guys are willing to do something in Web3 and really not only talk, but really willing to open up and look at the solutions, and we find concrete steps together. I'm not the kind who will announce partnership without any concrete steps. And I think a lot of people in the industry knows it. I want to sit down, look at what we can potentially do, lay my cards on the table, lay your cards on the table. Impacts is what we are after. Commercial deal is needed. Fine, let's work something out. And that's what I would like to ask every single one in the audience. It's the beginning of bull. I hope we can do something before the bull really comes and our human side take over.
Yeah, I see there's a lot of work, and personally it's always a challenge, but...
She always scolds me that I like to do the hard work, but I always believe that if you put in the hard work in the beginning, you bring the benefits long term.
I agree that. But anyway, thank you so much, and thank you for the organizers for just bearing with us. I know our time is up. Anyone here who wants to have the time and speak to Irene about generally what she envisioned to do? So if you can see from here is that a gaming is just a platform, a mechanism, a way. It's a language that everybody embraces, because even a boring person like me also play games. And she uses this basically to reach what she wanted to do, which is basically to make more people included, and also elevate them in terms from where they are into a more independent person who can actually progress on their own. So please take time and talk to this lady here. Thank you very much.
Thank you, thank you.
A round of applause once again, ladies and gentlemen, to these two lovely ladies, Ida Amok and Irene Umar, for the topic today, Fireside Chat, Gaming for Good, Harnessing Tokenization and Digital Ownership in Web 3.0 for Social Inclusion and Community Upliftment. Okay, so next we'd like to welcome our panel discussion for the topic of legal frontiers regulating Web3 gaming, NFTs, and cryptocurrencies. What regulatory challenge and opportunities emerge from the convergence of gaming, cryptocurrencies, and blockchain technology? So let's welcome our moderator, Tang, Regional Head of Business Development and Partnership at DIFY. Tang, where's Terry? Can you have Tang, moderator, on stage? Here he comes. And next, let's welcome our panelists, Sharon Bay, Global Head of BD and Partnership Smobler, Nadja Bester, AdLunam Inc. and co-founder on stage, together with Sam Seo, Klaytn Foundation Representative Director, Felix Sim, co-founder of Salad Ventures, and Belinda Lim, Head of Singapore at the Sandbox on stage. Felix Sim.
Yeah, he's on the way. Felix. Right. So thank you everyone for coming down here during Saturday morning to afternoon kind of event here. We have Blockchain Festival Asia, and for this panel itself, we have many great people that I'm very familiar with as well. Great to see you again, Sam, for Klaytn. It's been about 2 years since I had contact with Klaytn itself. Belinda, we've been working very closely together. And yes, I think it's time to have our panelists to introduce themselves as well. I can just kick it off. For me, I am Terry. I am basically the head of partnerships and business development for DIFY. We're an integrated marketing agency specializing in Web3 clients. Hence, yes, we are sharing the same space right here with many of our panelists. So Sharon, maybe you can go ahead and introduce yourselves.
Yeah. Hi everyone. My name is Sharon. I'm from Smobler, which is a metaverse as a service, kind of startups. So I'm the global head of BD and partnership in the company. What we do is mainly as like I said, it's a metaverse as a service. We create the metaverse environment and the digital assets. We bring Web2 brands into the Web3 world using GameFi and all that. We also have our own IP, create our own GameFi in the Sandbox currently. We are directly invested by the Sandbox, which is why I work very closely with Belinda also. Yeah, some of our game IP is actually going to be launched in next 2 weeks during the South by Southwest. So in case anyone is going there, so yeah, watch out for the news.
Hi everybody, I want to echo Terry's statement. It's a Saturday, so thank you all for being here. My name is Nadja Bester. I am the co-founder of AdLunam. We are a Web3 fundraising accelerator. So essentially what that means is we work with early stage startups to first get institutional funding all the way up to the public sale or IDO, where we also have a launch pad. And then I know this will be part of the conversation today. I'm also the host of the podcast, The Future of NFTs.
Hi, I'm Felix, the guy who was late to this panel. I'm so sorry. But anyway, I'm the co-founder of a project in Singapore called Salad Ventures, and we are in the X to Earn space. And what that specifically means is we focus a lot on GameFi and on social-fi products. So we build them ourselves. We may invest in some of them as well, but mainly right now because in this new meta, the focus really is on GameFi, so that's what we've put a lot of our focus on. So we have one product called Arcaden.com, which is an online casual games arcade where you can sort of play to win, to earn. And we're launching another product in Stealth, but it is a social-fi product that lets you learn about crypto and earn at the same time. So those are the two things that we're focused on at the moment, and it's a pleasure to be here.
Hello everyone, my name is Sam. I'm representative director at Klaytn Foundations. Klaytn is a public layer 1 blockchain. It's an EVM compatible chain, and it was started in 2019, and so it's been about 5 years. And we are expanding, the more use cases in GameFi and DeFi and other areas as well. So we recently actually announced the merge with Finshare chain. It's a chain started by Line Messenger Corporation, and so and Klaytn was backed by Kakao in South Korea, and so we two messenger companies are working together to create a bigger blockchain and bigger the GameFi, also the crypto environment. So we are looking forward to working in many projects here, and also a new project and existing project in this Web3 area. Yeah, thank you.
Hello. Hello everyone, I'm Belinda Lim. I've been in the blockchain space since 2017. So I think it's been really a long time now, especially with the bull cycle right now. Currently I serve as the country manager in Singapore for the Sandbox. So if you don't know yet, the Sandbox is one of the largest metaverse company in the world. I think one thing really excited, I'm really excited about this year is that this year is the year of creators. I think for us, we want to have like as many creators coming on board, and I think globally we have observed about 800 brands in the metaverse, working with all the top tier fashion brands as well as like government entities. So I think today I'm really excited to talk about, since we are a global company, to talk about implications of legal, and especially in the metaverse, NFT, and gaming space.
Thank you everyone for sharing the short introduction about yourselves. So basically today we are coming together to talk about regulating your Web3 gaming, your NFTs, your cryptocurrencies, and what kind of challenges do we face when, like for all of us, we have kind of dabbled into either GameFi, NFTs, or even cryptocurrencies. How has some of these like regulations hindered or even helped you guys? So we're going to find out during this panel itself. I think maybe we can start off by understanding in each of your different fields, right? Has regulations actually helped or hindered in a certain way? And feel free to share your experiences. Maybe Felix, would you like to kick that off first?
Sure. Well, based in Singapore, I think it's we're a little bit more lucky than our peers in the industry who's based in maybe a country like the US, for example, where I believe our regulator is a lot more forgiving and a lot more open-minded in exploring new frontiers and new technologies within a controlled environment, of course. For us, before we launched our token, so we have our token listed on exchanges such as Bybit, BitGet, Maxi, XT. It's called SALD, Salad. And before we launched our token, before we listed our token, we actually got a legal opinion from a global firm that's based in Singapore, just to make sure that the token eventually would not be deemed as a security. So, has that hindered? Well, I suppose we had to pay for that legal opinion, so obviously it has some kind of hinder there. But it wasn't necessary, but then it gives us the peace of mind that we can continue to trade and continue to do what we're doing without flouting any potential new laws that may come. We're also keeping abreast of what's happening with regard to MAS's views on not just tokens but also on NFTs, whether they could potentially also be deemed as a security. So I suppose it's just another thing that as the CEO of the company you have to keep track of and you have to do, but I wouldn't say that it has hindered our business at the moment.
Sam, how about you?
Sure.
I think for